Good morning, Dr. Bergen. I say good morning because it's currently 3 a.m. while I'm recording this. But yeah, this is my test number 2 submission. I'm going to be doing mostly a PowerPoint, but also sort of a TED Talk type presentation. So let's begin. What is leadership? Is it controlling others, having power over them, or does being a leader make you the smartest person in the room? Not quite those, but I still wasn't 100% sure of the perfect definition of leadership. So I asked my roommates, what is your definition of leadership? And what does it mean to you? And this is what they had to say.
Leadership is motivating others towards the ultimate goal.
Leadership is managing a team and influencing others to achieve a goal.
Leadership is the ability to create your own path and set an example for others.
As those were all great responses, they all had one thing in common, and that had others. Motivating others, influencing others, and setting an example for others. Stating that leadership is not a one-man job, that it requires a cooperative team and an adaptable leader. However, with that being said, what truly makes someone a leader? Are people born leaders? Do they wake up one morning and are just ready to lead? Not exactly, but there are multiple factors that make someone a great leader. One factor is embracing diversity and being inclusive. Ferdman suggests that people experience inclusion not only when they feel they are treated well individually, but also when groups of people who share their identity are respected and valued. So what does that mean? It means that when individuals identify with a group that shares similar identity, it creates a sense of belonging, and where an environment where diversity is respected, individuals feel safe to express their opinions and be themselves without fear, which actually helps foster cooperation and collaboration within the team. So we express our need to be included by how we communicate with others, and we experience less anxiety if our need to be in the group matches the degree to which we want others to include us. So just a quick example I can think of, if I was in your class, Dr. Bergen, and I sat front row every single class since the first day of school, and whenever you ask questions, I always raise my hand, but you acknowledge me, but you really look over and pick other people, not giving me a chance to answer. That would discourage me, and that would just make me not want to raise my hand. It would make me not want to answer the questions. Ultimately, it may even make me not want to show up to the class altogether. So something like that is very, very important with diversity and inclusion. Another factor is listening to outgroup members. So humans do not like conflict at all. And when there are individuals in a group or an organization who do not identify with the large group, that's what makes up an outgroup. So outgroups are common, yet inevitable. And listening and responding to outgroup members is one of the most difficult challenges that a leader can face. However, when a leader fails to meet this challenge, outgroup members feel devalued and their unique contributions go unexpressed. However, good leaders know the importance of listening to all members of a group, especially the outgroup members. So how does a leader respond to outgroup members? Number one, you have to listen. You have to take in the ideas because you never know what opinion that members in the outgroup may have opposed to the people in the in-group. Quick example, if you're selling something, your company is selling something, and you have in-group members and you have out-group members. You have a meeting with the in-group members because those are the people that are most involved. So there's people who are saying their ideas and trying to be innovative, and they're saying, oh, sales for this item online all the way. We're only selling this item online. But then you realize it's not doing the greatest, could have more upside potential, and you go to the out-group and you say, guys, what's your idea on this? Do you have any ideas for it? And they say, well, we're familiar with these types of items. Brick and mortar is the way to go. People want to buy this specific item in store rather than online. They want to see it in person. So you have to listen to them. You have to make them feel heard. and just bring in their ideas, listen to them. Show empathy to outgroup members. Let them know that they're appreciated, even if they don't say much. If they may not be the loudest person in the room, but they may be the hardest working in the room. So acknowledge that. That also applies with recognition. Recognize the contributions of outgroup members. Give credit and acknowledge their work. They could be trying their hardest, and without appreciation, they could think it's all for nothing. So appreciate outgroup members. The last factor would be addressing ethics and leadership. Now, ethical leadership is the influence of a moral person who moves others to do the right thing in the right way for the right reasons. Now, a process by which a good person rightfully influences others to accomplish a common good. Now, what factors influence ethical leadership? What makes a leader ethical? Well, number one, it is the character of the leader. But what does that say about them? You have to really ask yourself, who are you as a leader? And are you here for yourself, or are you here to help others? A leader wants to help others, and they are not there for themselves. Strong character. Number two, the actions of the leader. What are your actions? Are you going to engage with your team? Will you bring a positive impact to your team? Number three, the goals of the leader. Share the same goals. Are you on the same page as your team? Does everyone know the end goal, or is everyone on the same page? So you want to share same goals. Honesty of the leader. Be honest. Let everyone know what's going on. Organization is way more likely to succeed if you are honest with your team. You say, hey guys, listen, we're underperforming just by a little bit this month. I really believe in you guys. I know you're a hardworking team. I want you to put in your best effort, because at the end of the year, one person is going to get a bump in salary, something like that. It doesn't always have to be that, but that's just an example. And then the entire organization is like, whoa, a bump in salary? The top guy has 15 sales right now. Now I'm going to get 20. Oh, that guy has 20 sales. I'm going to get 25. So you're producing innovation and creativity just by being honest with your team. Same thing if they're doing good. Hey guys, we're doing really great. I don't want this to distract you. Keep up the hard work. Don't let this get to your head and think that it's just easy from now on because we have it going good. Keep the same energy and offer some type of incentive, or just some people, all they care about is appreciation. They don't even want a reward. They just want to know that they're being noticed. Number five, the power of the leader. Do not be power hungry. Leaders should not be fighting for power. Let your power be listening. Listen to your team. That should be your power. Now, number six, the value of the leader. Do you value the same goals? Do you value the same mission as your team? So that is all things that go into ethical leadership in terms of that. Now, 5OB and MBTI leadership report. Now, this is my report, and my total expressed behavior, total wanted behavior, and overall interpersonal needs all are relatively low. They are in the low section, but what does this all mean? Well, my interpersonal need score was a 5, so that suggests that I'm probably best satisfied through intellectual stimulation or solitary pursuits. I don't need involvement with others. It doesn't satisfy me. All I would need is privacy to do my best work and enjoy work that involves tense concentration on data or ideas, which is relatively true. Not 100%, but I agree with it somewhat. I think I would rather rely on myself to take care of work and would definitely prefer to do it quietly by myself. Total expressed behavior score 2, and my total wanted behavior score was a 3. So what does that mean? They're both low in range, but it suggests that I am generally not comfortable initiating social behavior, nor do I rely greatly on others to get what I need, which is very, very true. I am not comfortable initiating social behavior whatsoever. I actually fear it, do not like it, not comfortable in social situations. So your score is slightly higher than your total expressed behavior. Score suggests that you prefer to wait and see what others will do before taking action. You may even feel inhibited and experience dissatisfaction in some situations because you are not getting what you want from others. I don't totally agree with that, but somewhat. I could see the wait what others will do before taking action. 50-50 things. It really depends. If it's something like a project that I'm unsure of, I will definitely ask somebody, hey, can I see what you did? But if it's something regarding like my business, for example, I typically don't look to see what other people do. I want to be innovative and have a different type of brand name for myself. So I try to be different in that aspect. Then my total need for inclusion score was a 0, big fat 0. Total need for control score was 3, and my total need for affection score was a 2. What does this mean? Control is a need you are most comfortable pursuing and the need you are least likely to give up. Do I feel like I control a lot of things? Not really. I'm not a very controlling person. I typically am like go with the flow, do as you need type of guy. But this says otherwise. It is therefore likely that you will focus on understanding the order and structure of situations, who is in charge, how decisions are made, and what the rules, policies, and work priorities are. That is absolutely true. When it comes down to anything, I want to know what's going on exactly. I want to know who's making the rules, like who's in charge, exactly what they said. And then lastly, inclusion is the need satisfaction area you are drawn to least. The need you would most be willing to sacrifice. You are probably less interested in fitting in, making new connections, becoming known, and getting involved with many people in a project than you are in satisfying your needs for control and affection. I do agree with that. I think that is 100% true. I could care less about fitting in, becoming known. I have my roommates, my girlfriend, that's all I need. So making new connections, I mean, unless it's a business opportunity, I typically don't get drawn towards making like new friends or anything like that. Pretty comfortable with the people around me now. So I would say that is true. But here's what we had went over in class one time. And these yellow ones are mine. So I got introversion over extroversion because I'm like private space and I develop ideas alone with my own reflection. Ways of taking in information, I sense things. I like using experience and standard ways to solve problems. So I enjoy applying what I've already learned, and it's kind of like a step-by-step, piece-by-piece solution. Ways of making decisions, I use feeling. So those are my values. I enjoy meeting people's needs, so quite sympathetic most of the time. And unfortunately, I avoid telling people unpleasant things, which is good and bad. Bites you in the butt sometimes, but also saves you. So it depends. Ways of living in the world, I perceive. I'm not a judger. I like flexibility. I include as much as possible because I just like having the availability. And I typically postpone decisions because of a search for options. I don't like having a schedule saying this at 10 p.m., this at 11, this at 12. I like separation. I like breaks in between things. So one after the other, like type of list really stresses me out. Now, truest emerging leader certification. I am an emerging leader for truest at High Point University. Now, values and actions and strengths in action. My values in action would be courage, temperance, wisdom, and fairness. And my strengths in action would be teamwork, gratitude, perspective, and leadership. Now, when it comes to courage, with values and actions, values are like bravery, persistence, and as well as honesty. Temperance, forgiveness, self-regulation, wisdom, creativity, curiosity, and open-mindedness are big values for me. Fairness is also another one. Be kind and do justice. Treat people fairly. Now, strengths in action, my particular strengths are teamwork. I prioritize collaboration with my business team, at least. I'm not a big teamwork person in class, but I do enjoy working on business jobs with a team. Gratitude, I appreciate and acknowledge contributions all the time. I mean, even the littlest things, I will tell my guys at work, you're doing great, you're killing it, like keep going, like all this motivational stuff, just because I know that hard work likes to be credited. Now, perspective is another very great strength of mine, because I tend to try to take a look at different perspectives on things. I never try to say, oh, I think this is right. I always double think it and think, am I right about it? Am I thinking the right way? Because informed decisions based on values is the best way to make a decision. Leadership is also another strength. I love to inspire and guide others, motivate, set goals for the team. That is just one of the greatest things and like happiest things you could do, or happiest things that can make me, when I set goals and like me and my team accomplish them. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Now, leadership communication strategies indicator. When things are going well, it says I 55% listen, 15% ask, and 30% tell. So if I listen, I tend to lead with people in mind. I think that is very accurate. I don't think I make a decision ever without thinking about someone else in mind, which another thing that can bite you in the butt, but can also save you. My 15% ask, so I tend to lead with an analytical approach in mind. Yes and no. Analytical is good sometimes, but common sense is also great in others. So it depends. Tell 30%, so tend to lead with the goal in mind. Absolutely. I actually feel that should be the highest. I think listen should be 30 and tell is 55, because I always have a goal in mind. I always tell the team, this is the goal, this is what we have to do, and this is what we're accomplishing. So I think that would be the only flip. When under stress, I actually don't even have avoid in my chart. So apparently I don't avoid situations when under stress, which is completely not true. But I 70% comply and 30% defy. So comply, I tend to go towards a person or problem. This is 100% not true at all. I do not go towards a person or problem. If anything, I procrastinate and try to avoid it. Why I do this, I don't know. I'm trying to fix it. So defy, 30%, tend to go against the person or problem. I don't think that's necessarily right either. Honestly, if I could choose, I would pick avoid 100% for the entire pie chart, but I don't go against the person or problem. I don't try to rebel or do something against them. So that, I wouldn't say that's 30%, but when things are going well, I'd say that's pretty accurate. Now, Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. I got 3 main takeaways. I wanted to say daring and armored leadership, but we discussed that in class a lot, so I wanted to pick something different. So my 3 main talking points were vulnerability and courage, clear communication, and wholehearted leadership. Now, for vulnerability and courage, she emphasizes the importance of vulnerability and to embrace it as a source of strength rather than a weakness, because courageous leadership involves being open and taking risks and having different conversations with people, getting a different perspective. Now, to get a different perspective and have those difficult conversations, you have to have clear communication, effective communication for that matter. Specifically, the ability to listen, give, and receive feedback, and to establish clear expectations. Now, wholehearted leadership was another main point that she brought up, where she encourages readers to bring their authentic self and foster a culture of belonging, innovation, and collaboration. Now, I think that Dare to Lead by Brene Brown was an invitation to step into leadership roles with courage, empathy, authenticity. She encourages readers to make individuals feel like seen, heard, and valued. So it was a very good book. I enjoyed it. Now, lastly, the TED Talks. There were 3 different talks that we had watched, and the first one was by Rosalinda Torres, where What It Takes to Be a Great Leader. Now, I also picked out 3 themes or main points that I wanted to talk about, and that was anticipating change, diversity measure of personal and professional networks, and adaptive leadership. So with anticipating change, she emphasizes having a broad perspective, and I think great leaders don't just focus on their immediate surroundings, but they do look beyond to anticipate change or shifts in their organization. So not just being adaptable and anticipating change. Diversity measure of personal and professional networks. Now, she mentions that leaders build diverse networks to gain a wide range of perspectives, which I agree with, and she says that great leaders seek out people who challenge people and bring innovation. This is very true. Adaptive leadership. Leaders are willing to let go of practices that may have been successful in the past but are no longer relevant. So she encourages embrace change and innovate yourself. I also agree with that one a lot. As a business owner, something that could have worked for me last year is not working this year because changes in demand and shifts, stuff like that. Now, the second TED Talk was by Stanley McChrystal. His talk was about listen, learn, then lead. Now, he emphasizes listening and how leaders need to seek information and different viewpoints to make informed decisions, which I actually had talked about a little bit before in my MBTI. To make informed decisions, you have to have different viewpoints. So that is the best way to make a decision. He also says leadership is a service-oriented role, which I actually never thought about it like this. I knew the aspect of it, but to say it's a service-oriented role, I didn't think about. He says that leaders serve their team by providing support, vision, and trust, which I knew leaders did that, but I would not have thought it to be service-oriented. Thought leader was something that you aspire to be, not having to really think about it, but it is service-oriented. You have to have those skills and I'm really tired. Evolving leadership and adaptability. In today's interconnected and fast-paced world, he mentions that leaders need to be flexible, innovative, and open for input, which I agree with very much. Everything's changing now. Like I said, something that I may have used last year may not be valuable this year because of shifts and changes in demand. So be flexible, innovative, and open for input. Possibly the best evolving leader you can be, with adaptability in terms of that. Now, the last TED Talk, Shirley Sandberg, was why we have too few women leaders. Now, she encourages women to sit at the table, and she was talking about sitting at the table, actively participating and participating in decision making. She says women need to build their confidence, and she mentions that women feel they need to be 100% qualified for a role before taking it, but that is not true, and she urges women to own their achievements and strive for leadership positions. Yeah, that is it. Oh. Thank you so much, Dr. Bergen. I appreciate it. Have a great night. Hey, Dr. Bergen. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. I know it wasn't the most creative project, and I wish I could have done it my original way of how I wanted to. I will show a clip of how it was supposed to go, and you can see why it did not go right. So just for a laugh, I'll put them in here. Enjoy. So what is leadership? Is it having control of others? Is it telling people what to do versus not to do? Or is it even being the smartest person in the room? Not really, but I still wasn't too sure, so I asked a couple of my roommates what they thought leadership was. And here's what they had to say.
Leadership is motivating others towards the ultimate goal.
Leadership is managing.
What the hell are you doing? Dude, what the fuck?
I gotta go back to my room.
So I actually had asked my roommates what they thought.